everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast, and we got everybody here. How about that?
Good morning. Hey, and I will have to say that before this series started, you know what, I should wait for Rob to get on before I say this, because this would have been perfect to double or nothing on the pizza.
Oh, right.
I announced that we were going to sweep the Mariners before the series even began. That we were going to sweep them and send them home crying.
I don't know if they cried, but
I don't know either because you couldn't see into the bus, but I was waving to them goodbye.
Yeah, I think they were probably waving back.
Yeah. So like, yeah, see you later there, asshole.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, they 48 hits. 48 hits. 48 hits.
No, that is crazy. That is crazy.
10 hits by one Trey Turner.
Well, I mean, it's funny because they don't play good teams well, right? Like they're and that's the thing that's concerning. Say they make it into the playoffs. That's not a team that sounds like they're going to go very far.
I disagree. I think that they play better at home. Like I take, so this was a 10-game road stand.
Yes.
You just was in New York. I got to imagine, like, listen, these guys are human beings too.
Sure.
So, when they're in New York, when you're in the Big Apple, you're going to go to the bars, and the bars don't close there. You know what I mean? So, like, there's some of that going on. You eat some of them cheesesteaks because, damn it, it's like they look too good not to eat them. And there's a reason why the best cheesesteak in Philadelphia is in the opposing dugout at Citizens Bank Park. There's a reason for that. I mean, it's well known. Like, teams come in sometimes and actually try to eat the most cheesesteaks of all time. But like especially being on the road for like 7-8 days, that cheesesteak looks really good. You start to eat one, and then you're like, had the one, you're like, damn, I need another one of them cheesesteaks, and then you can't run. You know what I mean?
I mean, but you don't have to run when you're not making contact. So there's that. Jamie, this is the new time. This is the new time.
Yeah, Jamie. So, we decided to switch it up because Bo got a job. So anytime, so the moment that he is able to start that work, he's gonna be selling nail polish on TikTok.
That's right. Jay's going to be my best client, so that works out. I built in right in the show.
I just hope I can get a discount.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 2.
Is Sanchez a contender for the Cy Young?
No.
He should be.
Maybe. I just heard her say no. I think that she's right. I think it's possible that he could be in the conversation. He has been having a great season. He seems to. I think it's his 5th straight start or 6th straight start with 8+ strikeouts. So it's he's definitely in the conversation of this. I just feel like that there are other pitchers that are like more well-known that are going to win it over him. However, what happens is that, I mean, this is his 2nd year. I mean, you think about the progression of him. And 2 years ago, he won every game at home and lose games on the road. Last year, he won all the games on the road and didn't win games at home. This year, he's winning all the games. So when you start to put yourself in the conversation of Cy Young, the following year, you have a better chance of winning it. So unless you've gone way out of the loop, like when that Pittsburgh pitcher came on the scene and he was just crushing everybody lights out and won all those games for Pittsburgh when Pittsburgh sucked nuts. That's a different story. But he's gonna have his chance to win a Cy Young, I think, best next year. Also, he's going to be able to, because I don't think we're going to keep Ranger Suarez. I think it's going to be too much money. I think that we're either going to keep Ranger Suarez or we're going to keep Schwarber. And I don't think we keep both because they're both going to cost us a lot of money. So I think they're going to stay with Schwarber because he's better, which is a shame because Ranger Suarez really does love the Philly sports guy. He can't help but look at me every time he sees me, finds me in the crowd, and then stares for like 5 minutes.
They have, as of right now, they have the updated NL Cy Young odds right now, and they have Freddie Peralta of the Brewers as third, Christopher Sanchez as second, and then Paul Skeens as first.
Wow, we have a stat from Stat Guy? Kind of.
He had an entire month to put it together.
I mean, literally. The research was phenomenal. He was sending me daily reports.
I was
Googled it
gonna
live on camera, but
I was gonna ask that too, though. Like, I get that Paul Skeens is not the pitcher he is this year as he was last year. But given the team that he is on and just how pathetically bad that team is offensively, I do think Paul Skeens is going to get the Cy Young this year with a losing record because every time he goes out there, for the most part, it's 1 run in 7 innings, but the team can't score for him.
Yeah, they scored 2 runs and they still lost.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, though, I disagree with that. I do not think that they will give him with a losing record.
me either.
It's just it's one of those things that the writers, because it's the writers that really vote for this stuff, and the writers won't do, because that would be like the first time ever that a Cy Young, like I think that there's been Cy Young pitchers who because they were relievers may have had a losing record, but had like
Paul
50.
Skeens would be the second one ever with a losing record, but the first starter ever because Eric Gagne is the only one that got it.
That's
with
what
a
I was going to
losing
say. Yeah, he had it. What he was like 2-4,
record.
but had
2 and 4,
54 saves.
62 is 62 because that's when he had that stretch of like 94 consecutive saves before he blew the save or whatever.
Right.
That is such a ridiculous stat.
Yeah, like for like look at
saves in a row is
yeah.
insane.
And a lot of them too were like 1-run games. It wasn't like he was going out there like a 3-run lead or a 2-run lead where like he could give up a run and still have the lead. Like I think they said like 70 of those 94 saves are 1-run games. So it's just like, yep, game over.
I
That
tell
is
you, it has been such a long time to watch a closer come in for the Phillies and 1, 2, 3. Like, let's not put anybody on. Let's not bite our fingernails. Let's watch this guy come in
Do work.
and 102.
Yeah.
It was like it's awesome to have that feeling. Like it's like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think back. Like even with Brad Lidge, when he went 48 for 48 saves in 2008, he wasn't like he put guys on.
Yeah.
And kind of do it that way. And interestingly enough, in those games where he wasn't going into close, he got the losses. Like he wasn't very good. Like he could only get those saves. He didn't, like, if he was a tie game, guess what? He was giving up the run.
I remember him from the Astros.
It is so awesome to have that. And I'm like, in that case, I am excited for the playoffs. Now, the bats are working right this second. We had like literally 48 hits. You know, I know I said in my video that we had 284 hits. That was a lie.
The game would still be going on.
Yeah, it's like 320 really, but
But I mean, literally, it was like 48 hits. I mean, it was that's a lot of hits. That makes for a long game. I mean, it was 3-hour game.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and I have to give a big shout out and thank you to the Darren Dalton Foundation for giving me the tickets in the CP Rankin Club, which is the Diamond Club. I was literally in the on deck circle. It is, obviously I walk around a lot and I take a lot of pictures at these games. I don't get to watch many games like that. But it is such a different experience when you can actually see the balls and strikes. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, Blue gave us a call on that one. Wow, Blue sucked on that one. But it was, it was a great, amazing experience just to be able to kind of do that and share it with friends. And just like I said, it was just awesome. Like I got to eat at the ballpark. I don't do that very much either. You know what I mean? I had a drink at the ballpark, just
Nice.
one. You know what I mean? Because again, I don't do that very often. But so it was weird for me because of that. I'm like, it wasn't until like the 7th inning until I started to get excited. Not that there was much to get excited about, but it was 3-2 going into the 7th.
Yeah.
As I sent the video to you guys.
Yeah, and then our pitching decided to just throw meatballs for the. They're like, I bet you can hit this, and they did.
Exactly. So it was like they that 3 pitching changes or 3 pitchers in 1 inning. It's not something that you see very often anymore.
True.
So did you see what happened in the it was the Cubs Brewers game, the first game of the doubleheader yesterday. I want to know if this has ever happened to your guys, like any of your teams. But you know how everyone's got the pitch com now in their hats or whatever.
Sure.
And if the pitch com goes out, you're allowed to like check it. The umpire comes out and checks it with you to make sure it's not working, and then you're allowed to get the new pitch com before you continue.
Okay.
Right.
So the Cubs pitch com went out. Umpire came out and checked it, went back in his hat. 4 pitches later, it went out again. The umpire goes back out and checks it. They allow the pitcher to get a new one, but then they gave the pitcher a pitch clock violation.
So it's, it probably started working again.
Mhm.
So I feel like that I have learned now. The Phillies have a free Wi-Fi for the stadium. But that Wi-Fi doesn't work anymore. It's not an internet Wi-Fi because they have to keep it an intranet
Oh, sure.
because of the pitch comms. So you're not able, if you're on the Phillies Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi, you're not getting internet anymore because of the comms that have to happen. And so because of that, I kind of feel like that's maybe one of the situations. He probably got the pitch clock violation because it was the second time, and it was probably working when he went back out there. But they had him get a new one because it was the second time it went faulty in the inning. But because of that, they had to give him the strike or the ball. That's my assumption on what occurred there. That he went back out there and they tapped it and it worked. It's like, all right, guys, like we're going to give you a new one.
Penalty or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, if he went out there the first time and then they put it back in the hat, and then he goes out there a second time, and he probably could have put it back in the hat, but because it was working, they're like, no, all right, just switch it out. We're going to give you the new one, but you're also going to get called for a ball here. Because it's the second time that this has happened in the inning. Because there was something that happened, and I didn't quite get it with the Yankees game, in extra innings when the guy got He wound up getting kicked out of the game. I was just watching it probably about an hour ago, and I couldn't quite understand it because I like, well, I'm like not sure why he was called out, because he was safe by a mile, and then they're saying that he kind of bumped up off the base, but the tag came while he was on the base, and then when he bumped up off the base, the tag wasn't there anymore. So it's like I didn't understand that either. And then he said he was arguing the disengagement bit, and because he got disengaged on twice. So I'm not exactly sure what occurred there, but it was in extra innings with the Yankees. And every time a call goes against the Yankees, I'm very happy about it anyways. But
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm really hoping that the Yankees get kicked out of, like, I'd love to see both New York teams out of the playoffs. I know Major League Baseball don't want to see that.
No.
But I hope that actually happens.
Real quick, I saw on Facebook the other day that that supposed baseball realignment that we were talking about. I think y'all brought it up, and yeah, I don't like it. It does not look good at all. I mean, our division is weak. If they really went with that realignment, the Astros division would be really weak. I mean, you got the Rockies in there, which I knew they're playing, and I think the Rangers were in there, and Kansas City Royals were in there, and I was thinking, like, if that actually came to fruition, that'd be a terrible realignment. It would not be very competitive.
Why would you be mad at that? You'd win your division all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I do want to. I don't know. I guess it's more. I guess it's more of a pride thing. No. We get a lot of flack. I know Frankie and a lot of other people give me a lot of flack for how weak our division is, and I'm just tired of getting the flack. I really mean a competitive division, so that way, if I am winning it, people can't talk smack, right? For cleaner words.
Talking about, we said that about Tom Brady. He still goes down as the best ever because
we do. I mean,
what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So,
You're in the same inner circles as I am, Bo. Them dudes are vicious when it comes to your division. I mean, it's relentlessly like how weak our division is. I get it all the time. Maybe you don't get as much as I do, but I mean,
no, because we haven't won shit.
that may be.
Everybody's just like, everybody looks at the Mariners like the condescending little league dad. They're like, "Good job, Buckaroo." Tap you on the helmet. Like,
so, but and I mean, again, not for nothing. Yeah. In the hierarchy of sports in Seattle, you have the Seahawks.
Yep.
And then I feel like the Mariners and the Sounders are on an equal playing field. And then you have the Kraken.
Yeah,
so,
that's pretty accurate. The Sounders have a lot of popularity because of how consistently good they've been.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I would say that the Mariners and the Sounders are kind of equal footing there for that second spot.
And then I think you have literally the Kraken, and then right underneath that is the WNBA team, the Storm. But that could change at any moment.
Yeah, I would actually say that the Storm pulls more consistent people.
Yeah.
Like their attendance is actually higher at Storm games.
Okay, well then that doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah,
I feel like that if Seattle, to a certain extent, beyond football, is a fair weather sports city. That's like, you guys like your sports, but you're going to cheer a 3-quarter performance. You know what I mean? Like that, it's not.
Yeah, like they won't necessarily go as crazy if they're having a bad year. They still show up though. Like it's not like LA where the stadium will be empty. Like people still go. Like they'll still go and support the team and whatever. I think the problem with the Kraken is we get the team. So obviously NHL is newer here in Seattle. But then they didn't necessarily put a great product out. Right. Like you always want to have so the first year, a lot of attendance, this new team. The second year, they overperformed. Right.
Yeah.
So then after that, because there's been kind of turmoil within the team, it hasn't drawn as well. Plus, they jacked the ticket prices up again, and people are just like, man, like, give us a team we can be excited about and not spend $100 to get in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'll also say that the NHL kind of did you guys a little dirty. Not
Yes.
in the same way as like the truth of the matter is that they did you the right way that they should have. The problem is that Vegas came in
See that? Yeah, that's the
2
thing.
years earlier and they didn't know what they were doing, and Vegas wound up with an all-star team
Exactly.
because of the way they did it, and the NHL figured it out so that when it came ready for you guys to come in, the NHL knew what was going on so that they didn't get screwed.
It's not quite that bad, Rob, but I do understand what you're saying.
And like, when the Kraken had their expansion draft and it took place on ESPN,
Yeah.
like the entire draft, they kept comparing the Kraken to like the Vegas Golden Knights, like the whole time.
No,
saying,
and that was
And
the
that was
biggest
like-
thing.
it's like you can't expect another expansion team to have instant success like that right away because that typically does not happen.
Well,
Well,
and
especially since
I feel like what they did was they obviously gave Vegas everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then they dialed it back too far for the Kraken.
well, they didn't dial it back. They actually gave them the same rules. The NHL caught up.
Yeah.
So they figured it out like, okay, because they didn't know what they were doing the first time.
Yeah.
So what it was is that Vegas wound up with low tier A players and
Yeah.
high tier B players. And that was their entire roster.
Yep.
So when you have second liners, like that could be first liners on your entire squad. Like when you have second liners on your fourth line, you're going to score a lot of goals on your fourth line.
No question.
Yep. And that's kind of what happened there. Like they had tier one players, their goalie, for instance, that they got from Pittsburgh. I mean, he had won a couple of cups, and I tell you, he's not an amazing goalie, but can get hot. Like he's able to know how he's been there before. He knows what it takes to win. And then you have really good, like I said, really good defensemen. Like you didn't have a third line defenseman on that team.
No.
And you really didn't have a fourth line winger or centerman on that team. That the lowest you had at that point was maybe like a high C guy, like a high C level guy. But truth of the matter is that the NHL had no idea how this was all going to work, so they were scrambling to try to save guys and whatever. By the time you guys came in, which had 2 years afterwards, you know what I mean? They were like, okay, we're going to have our guys down at the minor. We're not going to pull them up early this year because we don't want them eligible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was a whole decision making that happened that didn't get to happen when Vegas was in.
Yeah.
And that's why Vegas became the fastest expansion team to ever win any championship in any sport.
Well, and the thing that's funny is they could have won it even sooner.
They could have, they could have won it in year one. Really, they were that strong of a team, and they should have had they had a better coach. That's truth of the matter is that if they had a better coach, they would have won it. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? You learn. The harder part about this now is that when the NHL decides to expand again, they're going to be bringing 2 teams in, and that's going to be mayhem for teams because now you're going to be losing 2 players on this expansion draft, and it's going to create. I feel like that the only way that they should really do this is every team get to pick in the expansion draft, like that they that there are like 5 picks that the team should make ahead of it, but then everybody gets to pick in that, and that you're going to see players switching teams all over the place. I don't know how this is going to work. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I can
It
get
would
into
be a
that.
little crazy, but you think of it like the USFL. I feel like that's how this should be done a little bit.
Okay.
It's like when the USFL got absorbed in by the NFL. How do you do this? How do you make this happen? And that's where I kind of believe they should do this a little bit. That it's going to like I don't understand how you would suspect like you get one player from each team that gets lost into the expansion of the two teams, but then the rest of the expansion draft happen for each team. Like so that if everybody's open, you give the two expansion teams the first picks, and then everybody else gets to pick underneath of them by record and switch it up a little bit. I think that makes sense to me. I know that Dustin, who's probably the most adept at hockey, understands what it is that I'm talking about there,
Yeah.
even though you guys may not. But like hockey guys would understand what it is that I'm saying here, because it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess if they
It
do
is.
it the way they did it last time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. That's for sure.
So Romano, Jeff, I'll tell you, Romano is pitching here for one more month. He will not pitch in October. They're not going to I thought that they would bring him out yesterday when they scored the 8 runs. I will tell you this. I am not as hard on Romano as everybody else is, but he can't pitch here anymore. He's got to move on, and he's going to be a good pitcher again.
Yeah, he will be.
He's not as bad a pitcher as he has shown here, but the boos affect him in a big way. And some pitchers just cannot. They get in their own head, and he is definitely in his own head. And I can't. It's like again, goes back to he is a human being. So his wife hears the boos, and his wife gets miserable about it too. So now she doesn't like being here, and so I'm only. I don't live his life, so I don't know what the story is. That may not be the case. He may not even be married. I don't know, but but you understand what I'm saying here is that once you start getting some of those boos, you can't get it out of your head, and your support system starts to defend you in the midst of this. So it actually, by their support of you in the process of being like, hey, these boos are not warranted. This city sucks. Don't worry about it. Now you've got it. Now it starts compounding on you. And then you have an outing so against Seattle, they had one bloop single. And he went 0-2 in the next count, and then brought the count to a full count, and then put up the meatball, and it was a 3-run home run. So now it's like, all right, he lets up 4 runs, and everybody's booing him. It's just like but we're Philly. You know what I mean? So we're much harder on players. Orion Kirkring.
If we went to the Miami Marlins or a smaller market team to resurrect, he probably wouldn't have those boos like you're talking about. And he probably
I feel like I think he's from the Midwest anyway. So Kansas City is a good spot for him. I know that he's going to be a decent pitcher. He got $8.5 million for 1 year. That tells me that you are an okay to good pitcher.
He was a really good closer up until his elbow blew out. And even the year that his elbow blew out, he had, I think the first 8 games of the season, his ERA was under a 1. And then he had 3 bad outings where it ballooned all the way up to a 14, 15. And then all of a sudden the next day you find out that he's having Tommy John.
Oh, well.
So I think that he's not as bad as he seems here. He's going to be okay for another team. And we're going to look back and say, damn it, he couldn't do that for us. And that's exactly how that's going to play out. It's just, it's a shame for him. I do feel bad for him because I do think that, like I said, I'm not a Romano supporter here. I know that he's been pitching horrible, but he's got 1 month left to pitch here, and then he's done. he's going
I don't
to.
think every player though can play on those big stages like New York's or like Dodgers or like I said Philadelphia. I mean teams where you have a tough fan base. I just don't think a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of them don't perform as well.
Well,
I mean, I get that.
If you let those things get in your head, like if people are
Yeah.
booing and stuff, like if that gets in your head, then yeah, some of those tougher environments probably isn't a great spot for you.
It's,
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's the internet for KD.
Well, like in Jordan Romano's defense too, like I would say the 4 toughest markets to pitch in Major League Baseball are Chicago, Philly, New York, and Los Angeles, just because the media and the fans can turn on you so quick. Like if you're doing well, they'll love you forever, but if you start struggling, they will turn on you like extremely quick.
Yeah, I mean, the difference with LA though is they just leave. They just
No, but I'm just saying, like, just like the,
yeah,
like the Bulls and stuff,
so you would say that in LA, the Dodgers own LA.
Yeah.
yes.
The Dodgers do own LA. Outside of the soccer teams, interestingly enough, because I feel like it's Dodgers, soccer, hockey, and then football. So
you got the Lakers up there.
Yeah, you got
the Lakers too. So actually the Lakers are definitely above the Kings. So it's probably it's actually let me change that. Dodgers, Lakers, soccer.
Yeah.
And the soccer is mostly because of the Hispanic. There's a lot of Hispanic out there. And they are, Mexicans root for soccer in ways that the rest of the world does not, so it's like kind of like Brazil and stuff like that. They all throw their beers in the air and it's amazing and fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to just answer your question, that Romano's only going to be here for 1 more month. There's no chance that he's going to pitch in the playoffs. And they're doing that for him. Like I'm sure he's a competitor. He's going to want to pitch in the playoffs, but there's no chance that they're going to do that to save him. Like I said, if he was to pitch in the playoffs and fail, that may be the end of his career.
Sure.
And they're not going to end his career. Like Philadelphia is not going to be the end of his career. But if he was to go in the playoffs and get rattled or give up those types of runs, there's no chance that any other team would pick him up.
Yeah.
I wonder how much cost of living and estate tax affects players in terms of where they want to play or not want to play. I wonder if that's even like a big factor for them.
So, I mean, it's a consideration, but you're also going to go for a team that's going to sign you.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, no, I understand. No, I'm not. I guess I'm talking about more about established players who
No, but that's what I mean, right? Like, you probably have 3 or 4 teams that want you, right? Unless you're just some perennial all-star, and then you have your pick of the litter or whatever. But then from there, you're looking at, where am I going to maximize the money that my contract is giving me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why do you think that the Dodgers are doing exactly what they're doing? It's not because that they're deferring this for the players, because the players want it deferred. They're doing it because California state tax is so ridiculous that they are going to be saving millions of dollars by moving out of the state and getting paid in that state. So ultimately, the Dodgers are putting that money, the money that they have to pay them, they're putting it in an account and it's bearing interest.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that interest is bearing, and they're going to make money off of that money. But ultimately, when they pay these other teams, the Dodgers have in every state an office. So that office is going to be what pays that player, wherever state he's at.
right.
And it's that simple. It's really, because truth of the matter is that, for instance, I can't imagine a lot of people live in Montana. So if one of the Dodgers players who's getting paid lives in Montana, you may actually see the Dodgers rent a closet in the guy's house.
Exactly. Yeah.
To be able to say, hey, this is where we're mailing you know, this is one of our official offices here in your house that is going to be what pays you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is not dumb. I mean, Philadelphia's got a city tax that hits people for 4.8% of their income.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So in essence, it's kind of the same thing there. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's ways of getting around it a little bit, but because they play the games in the city, they're going to do that. It's the reason why the Eagles can't move to outside of the city, or when the 76ers were thinking about moving to Camden. There's no chance of that because it would lose too much income for the city of Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia, do you guys own the structure but rent the land that the structure's on? It seemed like I heard something about that. Or I want to say
So the structure, for instance, the Link is owned by Jeffrey Lurie. The land around it, I mean, I'm sure they they may pay a rent or city taxes, really, because I'm sure they get tax exempt for certain things and such like that. But the land around it is all owned by the city because they're the ones charging for the parking.
that makes sense.
Now the Phillies own certain lots, and the Eagles own certain lots, but the city owns all the others. And trust me, with the way things happen, like when there's two events happening in that area, it's gridlock. It's like you have to go 3 hours early.
It's crazy. 3 hours.
So, yes, the Sixers do rent Wells Fargo. It's not Wells Fargo anymore. It's Xfinity Mobile Arena. Yes, they do pay rent, which is why they wanted to move and cry and play. We're going to move out of the city and whatever. It was like, it's all bullshit.
So while we're still on baseball for a little bit here, have you guys watched any of the Little League World Series yet?
Just clips, like little, like an inning here and there.
Have you?
I just know Chinese Taipei is looking really good.
Have you seen that Chinese Taipei kid that can throw 83 miles an hour at 12 years old?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
It is absolutely freaking nuts.
That was the one thing I picked up was him throwing that 83.
It's equivalent to a 108 mile an hour fastball on a 60-foot 6-inch mound.
He'll be in the MLB.
No chance to hit that.
No, I saw a game. I think it was day before yesterday, and the kid struck out 10 straight.
Yeah,
and I was just like, okay, like here we go. So yeah, he was just gunning them down. It was impressive.
And the Caribbean, their leadoff hitter looks like he's every bit of like 19.
Yeah, he's 35, but it's fine.
I tell you, the kid's like 6'1".
Yeah.
The Chinese Taipei kid's like 6'2", I think 168 pounds at 12 years old, and he's just going up there firing 83 mile an hour heaters. Like all these kids that are in the batter's box look at him like, no, thank you. I don't want any part of this.
I'm still trying to get to 6 foot.
And his changeup is faster than every other kid's fastball. His changeup is like 72 to 74, and pretty much every other kid in this tournament can hit 66, 67 with their heater.
So, thinking about that, and this is going to lead into something else. Another question I got with baseball that somebody asked me the other day. How do you go up to the plate for that? Do you crowd the plate? Do you because you want to give him maybe as small a window as possible? Like you go up there with enough shielding to protect yourself as best as possible there, crowd the plate and crunch down as low as you can. Like give him as small a window as possible there and hope for a walk. Like just keep the bat on your shoulder.
I think you lean in just so you can get that.
Well, yeah, but that's you want to try to do that, but you can't lean in on a strike either way.
No, that's true.
The kid's like super accurate too. Like even if you had like a super small zone, he's gonna get the calls. Like he's
I
not
feel like there's
wild.
an Ivan Drago and there's some steroid pumping somewhere.
He's not wild. He hits the corners. Like wherever the catcher sets his glove, he hits the glove. Like even if you wanted to just sit there and try to shrink the strikes on the catcher could put his glove right here and the ball's gonna end up right in the glove. And if you're throwing 82,
Yeah.
83, a kid's if anything, even if the kid wants the crowd to play it, any pitch at 83 miles an hour at a 12-year-old, even if it's not off the plate by that much, that kid's gonna be backing out to the back of the batter's box and the next pitch coming in.
Yeah. So no, you go up there like that's what I'm kind of getting at. You go up there with your eyes closed and your bat on your shoulder, and you crunch down and
Just
protect
hoping-
yourself as much as possible, and hope he don't hit you in the head.
Well, that's what David Ross said when David Ross was on the call. I think he was on the ESPN radio call the other day for the game. He's like, if I'm a 12-year-old and I'm facing this kid, I'm going in with an elbow guard, a shin guard, shoulder pads, everything else, couple layers of clothing. He's like, I want no part of that kid at 12 years old.
Right, Rob. And you know, I thought the first thing I thought of was that as well. I'm going to say yes.
At that level,
They-
you'd think so.
They have to. They have to. You know what I mean? Because they do enough stuff where they check now. Now they're very as diligent as they can be about trying to figure out like everybody's age and stuff like that. So there's so many different things that you know that they have to check. So I suspect that they do some of that. But the truth of the matter is that if that kid eats steak a lot, and the way that they grow cows over there with all the extra hormones, there's no doubt in my mind that that's what's happening there. That this isn't, it's not steroid juice, it's steak. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So-
So what's for dinner?
Yeah.
It was funny. They showed
Yeah.
the Chinese like Taipei team like the day the Little League World Series started, and like they had I think the second or the third game of the day, so they got there before the first game started, and they're all just kind of like sitting on the outfield watching the game taking place, and you see their opponents kind of out in the left field corner having fun and doing like a lot of things like these 11, 12, 13-year-olds do at this tournament. And then you have the entire Chinese team, like literally like just watching this game, scouting the teams, like, oh, they mean business. And all of a sudden they're facing, I think it was either Aruba or Mexico, whatever team Chinese Taipei faced first. Kid on Mexico comes out throwing 66, 67, next pitch is 70, and the Chinese Taipei pitcher's like, oh, that's cute. Here's 83, hit this.
Yep.
Goes
So,
and hits a
which-
leadoff home run.
Which brings me to my question that somebody asked me. I think it was on Tuesday.
Mhm.
If you were given 100 at bats,
Okay.
with major league pitching, how many hits would you get?
Probably one. I'd accidentally stab the ball once.
I actually said something similar. I said I would bunt twice.
Yeah, I would say I think I could probably maybe get a bunt out of it, but if I'm lucky, because I don't see too well.
Depends on who I'm facing, I guess.
Well, figuring that you're facing Jose Alvarado. You know, it's
I was gonna say if it was Randy Johnson, I'm just backing away from the plate, be like, you know
Yeah,
what?
I'm not even gonna.
If it's Paul Skeens, Randy Johnson, or Matt Joyce from the Angels can throw 105, I'm just gonna step in the batter's box and be, nope, we're good. Just
Well, that's why I say Randy Johnson, because he always had that random one that you didn't know where it was going. At least
Right.
the other guys, you're like fairly confident it's going to go down the middle. Randy Johnson had that like major league one that would hit halfway up the net, and you're just like, I mean, where was that?
or in Randy Johnson's case, he just kills a bird midway to home plate, and then you're like,
Right?
oh.
So
the
yeah,
ball's
no,
still-
Yeah.
if it was Randy who's his release is halfway to the plate, you're just like, yeah, you know what, I'm good. But anybody else, I think I could probably stab one ball one time.
Speaking of
that's what I kind of said. I said that I would be able by 25 at bats, I would start to get the speed. By the next 25 at bats, I would now start to foul them away. You know, because now you're caught up with the speeds. You know what I mean? And that's really what it is. Because the truth of the matter is that if anybody is going to start to give me change-ups, I'm not going to be ahead of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, unless I'm because literally I'm guessing with my bat speed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like, I mean, if we're all going up against major league hitting,
I would absolutely want someone banging trash cans to give me a chance.
oh yeah,
the pitcher could call out, "I'm giving you a fastball. I'm giving you a curveball. I'm doing this. I'm doing that." It still wouldn't have. It still have the problem. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to do that.
Exactly.
The funny thing is, Randy Johnson threw out the first pitch at Arizona last week. I don't know. They must have been celebrating. I think it was like 25 years since, or not 25, or 20 years since he retired or something like that. So they were celebrating him and honoring him. And he still throws 93 at like 61 years old. He just comes back and fires it. You can see the catcher going like this. He's like, I was not expecting that.
That's amazing.
I just feel like with all the movement and pitching today, I could never hit a ball like that. That's just it'd be ridiculous for me to think that I would get lucky, to be honest with you.
Like for me, I'd have to go be like, okay, you can throw whatever you want except a slider, because I understand that I'm going to look at it like it's fastball every single time.
Yeah, and it wouldn't matter exactly. Like all the pitches, like they could pitch curveballs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing is that like I would have to go. I probably wouldn't even try to swing at a pitch until 2 pitches are past me. Like I'd have to look at 2 pitches. Well, that's what I'm saying. The first couple at bats, I'm just getting the timing down.
Sure.
Like just of the pitch. The next couple of bats, I'm now trying to figure out when I got to swing in his windup so that I could catch up to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. At 50 at bats, I have that down now. Like that's now I have 50 at bats to try to figure out how to get a couple of hits.
Yeah. Well, especially because we're wording it that way. It's 50 at bats, not 50 pitches, right? So
right. No, not 100 pitches. That's
exactly.
ridiculous to try to think it like that.
No,
That's about. These are at bats.
Yeah.
These are at bats.
If it was 100 pitches, it'd be 0 for me.
Because he told me, yeah, he said the same thing. He's like, no, if for 100 at bats, you're going to have 0 hits, and I'm like, he's like, at 1,000 at bats, you're going to have 0 hits, and I'm like, that's not true, because I it's been a minute since I've played baseball, and I am 52 years old, so I get it. I understand that I am not going to be able to, but I am athletic, and I am able to understand physics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So even after 50 at bats, I'm still going to be guessing, but there's going to be times I'm guessing right.
Yeah.
You know, and all I'm trying to do is hit it over the second baseman's head. That's a single for me.
Right.
Unless the right fielder is playing up and then he throws me out at first, which doesn't happen.
It could be a dribbler up the third baseline. I don't even care. As long as I can beat the thing out.
Well, I'm slow, so I suspect that wouldn't happen either.
Fair
like
enough.
it's,
Fair enough.
you know, it's like I'm not gonna. I'm actually faster than I give myself credit for, but I'm not that fast. You know what I mean? So it's ultimately I have to hit it over the shortstops, and you know I do actually have like a power swing. So that being said, if I was to connect in the right way, it's possible that ball could go.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I'm going to hit a home run out of those 100 at bats, but you give me 1,000 at bats, and I give the possibility of me hitting a home run higher.
Hey, but if you happen to get it on the first one, you bat flip and be like, I'm out.
I feel like there's a betting thing here. I feel like the law of averages.
Right. The law of averages would state that you would get lucky enough to do it. But the truth of the matter is that most people, and I put myself into that category, are not going to get a hit, even at 100 at bats.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I
under is on that.
a little above most people. Not much above.
Like I think I could get lucky enough to get one, but
That's kind of what it is that I'm thinking.
I'm not delusional.
But you are frozen.
But say, yeah.
You may not be delusional, but you are a person.
Poor Bo. Look at him.
Yep. But all I was saying is I think I would get one. I don't think I would get more. If I did get more, awesome, right? But I think I could steal one.
Well, and you being an athlete as well, again, not knowing your bat speed and stuff like that. Like I know that I swing a bat and my bat speed's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 70 to 80 miles an hour. Like that's which like normal people swinging a bat who have played any bit of baseball in small levels. I'm not talking about like I never played professional baseball. I haven't been on a baseball field since it was softball for me. So it's like, but I could still swing a bat at 70 miles per hour. Most people are swinging the bat at about 50 miles an hour. So I have that's what gives me that little bit of edge. You being an athlete, I figured that you'd be somewhere around that 70 miles per hour mark as well.
Yeah, I had good bat speed. I could yank balls out, no problem. So that was, That being said,
think Dustin coaching would give him even a little bit more of an edge. You know, not much more, but a little bit more.
You'd be surprised even at like high school now, like how much, even in high school now, like there's not too many high schoolers in our area that are going to throw like 85, 90. Most of the high schoolers are like in that 75, 78 range. But you'd be surprised how much movement some of these damn high schoolers get now. It's like absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I was about to say, like, I know my nephew, he pitches for Klein High School, and he does a lot of travel ball and camps and all that. And he pitches, and he throws it right at about 80, 81 is where he's at.
I got you. Yeah, I had a harder time picking
and he's about 6'4", 250. I mean, he's a damn man-child, but
I had a harder time picking up the ball once it got into the 80s.
Yeah, I mean that's my problem. That's what would take me 50 at bats just to watch, like 20 at bats just watching the ball go by me, so I can get a good idea on timing.
Well,
like because my first few swings would suck.
That's why I say I'd be like stabbing at the ball. I'd almost be playing pepper with the pitch.
Right. You're trying to take up as much of the zone as you can to try to be able to get that. So you'd be like almost upswinging.
Yeah, you're just smacking at it, right? Like you're just trying to figure out where it is. No, but like honestly, that's how I'd be trying to gauge the timing on it, because it'd just be like, okay, I'm not swinging through, but I'd be like, again, playing pepper with it. I'd just be like, they're not going to be hits, but it's going to be okay. That's where I release off the shoulder.
Well, and that's the other reason why I would actually square up the bunt. Like my first couple would be bunts, because I want to see now exactly as it's coming in.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
to the face, though.
Well, I mean, I'm smart enough to not do that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that ball's coming to me. Boom. It's like
I didn't need all those teeth anyway.
Well, sometimes it's a lot easier said than done, because Matt Shaw and the Cubs last night found out firsthand that it's very difficult to take a bunt on Jacob Mezarowski, who throws about 102, and he squared up the bunt on the first pitch, and it went face high on a bunt, and he did a 360, almost a backflip out of the batter's box.
Rob, Moyer would be tough because the movement was crazy. Like his command was something else. So maybe you time up his speed, but the movement of the ball that he had was impressive. That's why he had a 20+ year career.
Right. But I that being said, I feel that I'd have a better shot against him because of the speed. Like that's ultimately, like if he's going and throwing all 100 at bats, then I'm definitely, as we get towards the end of that, I'm going to have a better, batting average.
Yeah. No, I agree, and that's
still under the Mendoza line, but better. You know what I mean? I'm definitely batting under the Mendoza line the entire time, but unless I said I get lucky in the first at bat, where like I'm just going to swing haphazardly, hit the ball, I get a single, and I'm like, okay, yippee, I'm done. I batted 1,000, and I'm done. Clear.
Exactly. Yep.
So, but yeah, I was asked that the other day, and I thought that was a really good question to try to ask the panel here, to see how things go.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I just want to know what the over and under is on that. I mean, because I feel like that's got to be like 1 in a million. It's got to be like hitting the lottery. If you can hit it, and like if you can hit with a movement pitch, that's got to be like hitting the lottery because these guys do it for a living, and they're only got like 200 batting average, which like
So if
no
the
wonder.
over and under was a half, like a half of a hit,
Right.
then I would have to take the over. If it was 1.5, I don't know. I'd probably go under.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to say, like, if it was me and the line was 1.5, I'd go under. And because you're actually hedging your bet there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
you're betting that you're probably only going to get one.
Right.
And if you get more, you're not sad that you lost your bet.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, is it
right there?
and because the other question becomes, there's a lot more things that go into this. Like, are you going up against the same pitcher? If you're doing the same pitcher for all 100 at bats, there's a better chance you're going to hit him because you're seeing the same pitcher over and over again. So it's unrealistic to think that you're going to get it like that. You know what I mean? So figuring that you're facing up against 10 pitchers, which makes sense that you're getting 10 at bats against 10 pitchers. As you get into the 80s and 90s, like that's what I'm talking about, around 75 to 80 to 90, like you're going to have a better chance because you have seen them all at this point now.
Yep.
You know, and there's going to be some guys that are just going to be able to blow it past you and you ain't going to catch up. And there's going to be some guys that are going to finesse it past you and you ain't going to hit it. But there's going to be other guys that you're going to be able to line up and get lucky on.
Especially if they stagger him in a way where you got a guy launching 102 and then you have Jamie Moyer next to bat. You're just like, come on, guys. Like,
and I wonder, like, what it would be to see a sidearm pitcher and how the ball comes in off the sidearm versus overhand.
especially that like submarine.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's got to be a weird way to
There's
hit.
a reason a lot of guys don't hit those guys.
Yeah, because when on a submarine, when the ball leaves your hand, you're essentially looking behind you because the ball's like coming behind your front hip. And then as it gets closer to the plate, then it starts going towards the middle of the plate. So instead of like staring the pitcher like straight on, you're kind of like looking over your shoulder like you're about to do a pickoff move.
Hold on. You ain't catching the ball with your mouth.
Yeah, it's
You get
catching
hit in the mouth,
Yeah.
but you ain't catching it.
Yeah.
Because at 100 mile per hour, your teeth are going. Especially if you're
Yeah, it's going to be through your head and out the back end.
That's the thing. 100-mile-an-hour meatball, you're getting a meatball and teeth.
I can't even imagine the pain level of 100-mile-an-hour fastball to your face. I mean, like directly to your mouth. I mean, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, you all know how the damn sensitive the nose is. Could you imagine if it hit you in the nose? Oh, hell no.
If
No,
it grazed your nose,
yeah,
it would hurt.
Yeah, if it
hell
grazes your nose, you still have a broken nose.
I just know when you barely pump somebody in the nose, they cry up. So I'm just thinking a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the nose. I mean, that to me, that just screams death, honestly.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't feel good. Just to switch it up real quick before we get out of here, we do have the final NFL preseason games kicking off tonight. Steelers, Panthers, Pats, Giants. It feels like Thursday night football, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
What a terrible lineup.
The Giants, the 2-0 Giants, and I tell you, I'm already getting Giants fans all excited for the season. I'm like,
You know, I just always tell everybody that gets super pumped about preseason, I just always give them the Lions where they went 4-0 in the preseason and then 0-16. It's like pump the brakes. Preseason does not matter.
I'll tell you what, though. Hey, I've heard a lot of good reports on Jackson Dart. So apparently he's having a good camp with New York.
He is.
and how about starting quarterback Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
And more on that tomorrow when people are super mad about it, and it is hilarious. So we'll do that one tomorrow. Otherwise, we got to get out of here. We are up against it time-wise. So enjoy football tonight. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning.
Later.